Hey guys, this is an updated skier task guide for vitamins part 1. For this task, you are going to have to obtain the first, second, and third chemical containers and then survive from the respective raids and then hand them all over to skier. So for this task, you are going to require 2 different keys, one for Shoreline being the Health Resort West Wing Office Room 112 key, and then the other one for Interchange being the EMERCOM Medical Unit key. So both keys can be found in the pockets and bags of scabs as well as in jackets or in drawers, and both keys also can be purchased directly from the flea market, where they do fluctuate quite a bit throughout the wipe due to them being task required keys. So definitely expect them to be a little bit expensive at the start of wipes, sometimes going for upwards of 300k each. But now with the ability to list non-found in raid items on the flea market, then that should help to keep the price of task keys a little bit more reasonable, since people can just use it themselves and then relist it if they don't need it anymore. Now both keys also do have one static spawn where they do have a chance to spawn during a raid, and for the West Wing 112 key it is going to be at the bus station, which is below the west wing of the health resort inside of a yellow bus on top of a seat. And then the EMERCOM key actually has a static spawn where it does have the chance to be on customs at the new gas station in the back of the ambulance on top of the paramedic seat. And to be able to pick up this key, then you will have to jump and crouch into the back of the ambulance to check for the spawn. So we will go in order for retrieving the chemical containers, with the first one being located on Shoreline, and I do have a map up on the screen right now, and where we do have to go is into the west wing of the health resort to room 112. So my PMC is here in a raid by the helicopter, and then to my right is where the east wing is located, but we will be going to our left, which is going to be the west wing. And then as we end up going past the truck and then in through the main doors of the west wing, then you do want to veer to the left. And then immediately past this table and chair on the right hand side will be a locked room, which is where you can use your Health Resort West Wing Office Room 112 key. Once inside of this room, then you do want to turn to your left, and then in the corner is a refrigerator with the first chemical container sitting on the top rack to the left. And I will show a picture of what it does look like when the task is active, so then you just have to pick up this chemical container, survive and extract, and then make sure to hand it over to skier once you get out of raid. And after that, then you can move on to the interchange portion of this task, and if you do happen to die in between finding the container on Shoreline and extracting, then you will obviously have to come back to retry the Shoreline part of this task. And like I just mentioned, definitely do not forget to hand it over to skier before loading up into your next raid. So now onto the second and third chemical containers. So I do have a map of Interchange up on the screen right now, and then the stores where we do have to go is into Mantis for the third container, and then the locked EMERCOM medical unit for the second container. And my PMC will be starting in the center of the mall to make it easier for you guys to follow along. So my PMC is here in a raid, and Kib is going to be right here. To the right of that is where Brutal is, and then just across from Brutal on the opposite side of the escalator is going to be Mantis, which is very easy to identify because it does have the blue fluorescent sign. So we do want to head into Mantis, and then in the far back right corner just around a curtain there will be a medical cart with a round container on top, and inside of this will be the third chemical container, which again I will show you guys a picture of what it does look like when the task is active. Now after you have retrieved this container, then I will bring you guys down the hallway to the locked EMERCOM area. So once you do head out of Mantis, then you do want to turn to the left, and EMERCOM also has 3 potential entrances that are all opened by the EMERCOM medical unit key. But I will be showing you guys the first entrance that we will come to from Mantis on our left hand side here. And since we do have to go into EMERCOM, just know that all the floors in this area are going to be metal, so you will be very loud when you are walking around in here. And because of that, I always make sure to pre-med before trying to leave again, since some people will just camp your exit if they do hear you in here looting or walking around. But once you do enter into the EMERCOM unit room, then you do want to head into the middle area, and then around this curtain on the left hand side there will be a tin on top of a table. And inside of this tin is the location of the second chemical container. And just so that you guys know, you can pick up both the interchange containers in the same raid, or you can do it over separate raids if you want to. It mostly will depend on if you have the EMERCOM unit key or not. But if you don't have the key, then one tactic is to wait around until the end of a raid and then come back to see if another PMC has opened up one of the 3 locked doors for you. And then that will end up also saving you guys some rubles for one of the other 50 key tasks that you will have to need. Now again, you do have to survive an extract from the raid when you do pick up the chemical containers in order to hand them over to skier. So if you do happen to die on your way to extract, then you will have to come back to retrieve the containers from that map and then try and extract again. But if you did happen to do Shoreline first and then successfully extract and hand it over the container, then even if you do happen to die, then you will not have to redo that portion of the task, which is why I did stress to make sure that you handed over the container once you did extract. And that also works vice versa if you ended up doing interchange first. So hopefully you guys found this guide useful and it does help you to complete this task. Thank you guys for choosing my guide to watch on this, and hopefully you have a fantastic rest of your day.